The man who helped her clean wasn't a new hire. He was the CEO asterisk. Rain lashed against the tall glass windows of the corporate high-rise, like nature herself was trying to wash away the weariness inside. Downstairs, the janitorial staff had long gone home. The echo of silence ruled the vast, polished marble lobby, broken only by the rhythmic scrape of a mop dragging slowly across the floor. Under the dim after-hours lighting, her figure moved like a shadow-tired, bent, and nearly invisible. No one was supposed to be there, not at that hour, and certainly not him. But that night, as she turned to dump a full bucket of murky water into the utility sink, she noticed movement in the reflection behind her. She turned sharply, startled. A tall man in a plain gray hoodie and black slacks was quietly lifting chairs onto the boardroom table. At first, she thought he was a new cleaner some last-minute hire. But in just a few hours, she'd discover the truth. He wasn't a janitor. He was the CEO. Asterisk, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humility, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to our channel, USA Soul Stories. For more true-to-life tales that move the soul, asterisk Camila Rivera had grown used to being invisible. At 37, she had a job no one saw and a voice no one heard. After her husband abandoned her and their 2 kids 6 years ago, she was left picking up the pieces with no college degree and no family nearby to lean on. She worked double shifts, sometimes triple, cleaning office buildings across downtown San Diego to afford rent, food, and braces for her daughter. The cleaning company had recently picked up a new contract with a Fortune 500 firm headquartered in a sleek, modern tower. Wells and Hanover. The name glowed on the glass like a throne above the city. For Camila, it was just another floor, another bucket, another night of being unnoticed. Asterisk, she didn't mind cleaning. It was honest work. What hurt was the way people ignored her existence. Young professionals in tailored suits would sweep past her without eye contact. Sometimes they'd leave half-eaten lunches or spilled coffee on the floor without apology. Camila would clean it, quietly, always with the same soft reply if anyone did happen to speak. "No problem, ma'am. You have a good night." Asterisk, but that night was different. It had been a long shift. Her back ached, and the smell of bleach clung to her hands even through the gloves. She had just finished the cafeteria when she realized someone had left the main boardroom in disarray again. Empty cups, cookie crumbs, chairs pulled out like a tornado had passed through. She sighed, shoulders sinking, and went in. She was halfway through mopping when the man appeared. Asterisk at first glance. He looked like any middle-aged office worker, tall, salt and pepper hair, lean frame, calm face. But something about his eyes made her pause. They weren't distracted or hurried. They were focused, gentle, even as he moved without a word, helping her straighten chairs and pick up trash. Camila was stunned. In her 6 years of cleaning buildings, not once had an executive lifted a finger to help. Asterisk, she thanked him softly, still assuming he was a new hire from another department, or maybe someone who forgot something in the meeting. He didn't say much, just smiled faintly and asked where she kept the extra trash bags. She showed him, and for the next half hour, the two of them worked side by side in silence. Something about it felt different, calmer, less lonely. Asterisk the next evening. When she arrived for her shift, she found a thermos of warm coffee and a handwritten note on the cleaning cart. "Thank you for your work. You matter more than you know." No last name, just an initial. Camila was puzzled. No one ever left her notes, only messes. Still, she smiled and drank the coffee, and it was the best she'd had in weeks. Asterisk days passed, then a week. She didn't see him again until the following Friday. She was vacuuming near the elevators when the doors opened, and there he was again. Hoodie, jeans, calm eyes. Only this time, someone called out to him. Asterisk, Mr. Morgan. We weren't expecting you tonight. Asterisk, Camila froze. Her hand instinctively gripped the vacuum handle tighter. Mr. Morgan? She had heard that name. Everyone in the building had. Marcus Morgan, co-founder and CEO of Wells in Hanover. A man known for turning a garage startup into $1 billion empire in just 15 years. But he didn't look like the sharp-edged mogul she had imagined. There was no designer suit, no entourage. Just a man walking quietly through his own building like he didn't want to be seen. Asterisk, their eyes met. He gave her a small nod, the same calm, kind one from their first meeting, and walked past her. That night, everything changed. The next week, HR called her in. Her heart dropped. She thought maybe she had broken a policy or been reported. But instead, she was offered a new part-time administrative position assistant to the facilities director. Better hours, better pay, benefits. She was confused. Why me? She asked. Asterisk, we received a recommendation, the manager said with a curious smile, from Mr. Morgan himself. Asterisk, Camila couldn't believe it. She sat in her car afterward, tears silently streaking her cheeks. No one had ever advocated for her like that, not since her own mother passed away when she was in her 20s. Asterisk, as the weeks turned into months, Camila started to bloom again. She had weekends with her kids. She enrolled in evening classes for office administration. She even made friends in the building, real friends, who saw her as an equal, not a shadow. Asterisk, but perhaps the most surreal part was the quiet bond that formed between her and Marcus Morgan. Every Friday evening, he'd drop by. Sometimes just to say hello, other times to sit with her for a few minutes in the break room and ask how her week had been. He never flaunted his title, never made it awkward. Just two people sharing stories over coffee, one rebuilding her life, the other quietly helping from behind the scenes. Camila once asked him why he helped her that night. He looked at her for a long moment before answering. Asterisk, when I was 12, he said slowly, my mom worked 2 cleaning jobs just to keep us fed. She died of exhaustion before she ever got to see what I built. I see her in people like you, hardworking, invisible but powerful. You remind me of what matters. Asterisk, her eyes brimmed with tears. She wanted to hug him. Instead, she just nodded, unable to speak. Asterisk, by the time a year had passed, Camila had completed her courses and was offered a full-time executive assistant role within the company. Her children were thriving. Her confidence had returned, and the woman who had once mopped floors in silence now walked those same halls with purpose and pride. Asterisk, she never forgot where she came from. She still carried a spare thermos of coffee on Fridays, just in case someone else was having a long night. And every now and then, when no one was watching, she'd leave handwritten notes on janitor's carts. You matter more than you know. Asterisk, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone who works hard without recognition, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to USA Soul Stories. Your support keeps stories like these alive. Asterisk, special request. In the comments below, tell us, have you ever had a moment when someone unexpected saw your worth? We'd love to hear your story. Asterisk? Absolutely. Let's continue the story from where it left off, deepening the emotional arc, expanding key moments, and ensuring it feels richly cinematic and inspiring for a 6,000-word YouTube narration. This extended portion continues to show Camila's transformation, the CEO's quiet influence, and the ripple effect of one act of unseen kindness. Camila's new desk was nothing fancy, a small, sunlit corner near the HR office, but to Her, it felt like a throne. She would run her hands across the smooth cherrywood surface every morning, remembering the years she spent cleaning desks, just like it, while her feet ached and her stomach growled from skipped dinners. Now she had her own ID badge, her own email, and a nameplate with gold lettering. Camila Rivera, Admin Coordinator. But even more than that, she had dignity. She had proof that hard work, when seen, could change a life. Asterisk still, she never allowed her new position to make her forget. Each time she passed a cleaner in the hallway, she smiled. She spoke. She acknowledged them by name. She knew their routines, their families, their stories, because she had once stood in those exact shoes, and because one powerful man had once taken the time to see her. Marcus Morgan, for all his fame in the corporate world, remained as humble as he had been that rainy night in the boardroom. He continued his quiet Friday evening walks through the building, sometimes in sneakers and a hoodie, sometimes just observing, asking gentle questions of employees others barely noticed. The media might call him a visionary CEO, a tech genius. But few knew this side of him, the man who still cleaned up after meetings when no one was looking. The man who saw a mother's exhaustion, not as weakness, but as quiet courage. One day, months into her new role, Camila received a calendar invite from Marcus himself. The subject line was simple. Let's talk. Her heart pounded. She thought maybe he was offering her a promotion, or perhaps there was a problem. She straightened her blouse, tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear, and walked to his office. It was her first time inside. Unlike what she expected, it wasn't a gleaming fortress of power. It was warm, personal. A family photo sat on the desk. Marcus as a boy, standing proudly beside a tired-looking woman in a diner uniform. Camila swallowed hard. He gestured to the chair across from him. No formality, no power play. Just a quiet conversation. I've been watching your work, he said. Not just the admin side. The way you treat people. The way the cleaning staff smiles around you. That's leadership, Camila. She blinked in surprise. He leaned forward, resting his elbows on the desk. We're building a new initiative. An employee wellness and dignity program benefits. Training, education assistance for our lowest wage workers. And I want you to help lead it. Her breath caught. I know this might feel overwhelming, he added, but I think you're the exact voice we need. You understand what it means to struggle and to rise. Tears welled up in her eyes again. Not because she felt unworthy, but because for the first time in her life, she felt truly seen. Not just as someone who had survived, but as someone who could lead. She accepted. Over the next year, Camila co-developed the Respect Rising program within Wells and Hanover. The company launched ESL classes for immigrant staff, financial literacy workshops, mental health check-ins for janitorial and food service teams, and even childcare support options. The initiative gained national attention. Other companies began replicating it. Camila gave speeches, not grand ones, but real ones. She told her story, shaking slightly at first, but always with sincerity that made audiences lean in. There are people who clean your offices at night who could run this company better than half of us, she once told a room full of executives. You just have to look. Really look. The media finally caught on. An article went viral. From Mop to Mission. How a CEO and a cleaner changed corporate culture. The photo showed Camila and Marcus standing side by side, not as boss and employee, but as co-creators of something meaningful. Still, she never let fame or recognition turn her head. On Fridays, she still kept that second thermos. She still left notes. She still paused when walking past someone who seemed tired, offering a kind word or even just a smile. because Camila knew the truth. One moment of being seen truly, deeply seen could be the seed of everything. Asterisk. Her kids began telling their friends about her. My mom works in a company that she helped change. Her son even brought her as a guest speaker to his high school. For career day, when she stood in front of that classroom and told them her story, not a single student looked at their phone. Not one. Asterisk, her life had changed. But more importantly, her story had changed. Asterisk, and so had the story of countless others. All because one powerful man chose not to walk past a tired woman in silence, but to stand beside her, mop in hand, and help. Asterisk, and maybe, just maybe. That's where real leadership begins, not in corner offices or billion-dollar deals, but in the quiet courage of those who serve, and the rare few who stop long enough to notice. Asterisk, if this story moved you, if it reminded you that kindness from the top can change everything at the bottom, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and subscribe to USA Soul Stories. Your engagement helps us keep bringing real, emotional stories to light. Asterisk, special request. In the comments below, we invite you to share a time when someone unexpected helped you, believed in you, or saw your worth. Your story might just inspire someone else to keep going. Would you like me to provide the rest of the story in a downloadable format, or help break it into scenes for a YouTube video script?